Hello, I'm Diane Blood. I've got 2 sons, and they were conceived in rather miraculous circumstances, and I'm very proud of them. My husband, we'd been married for 3.5 years when he died very suddenly of meningitis, which is the most horrendous disease ever because it is just so swift. And he became ill very, very rapidly and didn't know who I was within the space of a couple of hours and died just 4 days later. And at the time we were trying for a baby, and it was a real shock and a real change in direction for my life. As he was laying in the hospital, effectively in a coma, I asked if sperm could be taken from him. And the reason for that was twofold. One, if he'd actually survived, he was being given such massive amounts of drugs and antibiotics, his fertility could have been affected anyway. And I knew that was, something that he'd so desperately wanted, a family. And also, actually, I was aware of a case where somebody had had a child after their partner or their husband had died, and I wanted to ensure that might be a possibility should I so wish afterwards, given that we'd actually discussed that case and I knew how he felt about that, and the fact that he felt it was so important to actually have a family, even in those circumstances. After my husband died, there was obviously the question of the sperm that was stored and the possibility that I could still continue and have the family that we'd planned. And for me, it became a matter of continuing my life and getting on with my life in the way that I'd planned it to be, and that included having children, knowing that I was also doing something that he'd thought about and agreed with. Not that I actually felt any pressure from him beyond the grave, so to speak, to actually carry on and have his family. It was about me being able to continue with my life and do the things that a normal woman would expect to do in having a family by somebody that she loved. The chance then of me actually conceiving successfully was only 20%. I then went on to have a second child, and at the outset I was told there was never any legal mechanism to enable me to name their father on the birth certificate. During the course of everything that I went through, that changed. That changed thanks to the Human Rights Act 1998, and the whole thing really came to culmination about the time of the birth of my second child, and we achieved what everybody had initially said was impossible. I know that when I finally won and got my children's name on the birth certificate, I just felt as though I must be the luckiest person in Europe, because when I first took on everything at the point at which my husband died and I felt like I'd lost everything, the probability of me achieving all the things that I achieved was just, it was negligible. And I really felt in the end as though I'd won more than the lottery. I'd done better than 14,000 or whatever it is to 14 million to 1. Because the chance of me actually winning my first court case and being able to have my child was very slim. Some people have said to me that, you spent so long of your life battling through courts. You could have been doing other things, you could have been getting on with your life. And I just say to those people that, this was me being able to get on with my life. I couldn't have had the life I planned without children. And them being able to name both of their parents on the birth certificate is a part of their human rights and their identity that I think was important to fight for. So no, I can't regret it. It's a part of my life, and it's a journey that I took.
Stories like this one could end so differently if we let the government scrap our Human Rights Act. Don't let them get away with it. Go to saveourhra.org.uk. Take action now.